Good morning, I'm Anna Palmer.
And I'm Jake Sherman.
And welcome to the Daily Punch, brought to you by Punchbowl News. It's Friday, May 21st, 2026. Let's get in the mix. Here are your Washington headlines of the day. Number one, Senate Republicans prioritize their own future, distancing themselves from President Trump. Number two, the House staves off an Iran defeat for now. And number three, what Jodey Arrington told us on Flyout Day. All right, Jake, let's get to it. We are closing out the week with a lead that reads this. Eventually, Senate Republicans were going to prioritize their own political survival over President Donald Trump's wants and needs. They have, but it just might be too late. What a stunning week when you look at where the president is, where Senate Republicans are, and you think back in the beginning of the second term of the president, there was zero distance between Trump and Republicans on Capitol Hill. They would basically do anything that he wanted, and now we are finally seeing a breaking point.
Yeah, no longer, Anna. Yesterday was really just a head-snapping day. I mean, we all went into the day thinking that, in fact, we were talking about this not on Flyout Day, but at the Flyout Day at our townhouse. You know, I thought that this reconciliation bill would pass, Congress would go home for the Memorial Day recess, and that would be that.
I mean, the big question was, is the House going to pass it or not? It wasn't what the Senate's going to do.
Yeah, and the Senate cut bait. Why did they cut bait? Because the president announced this weaponization fund, and Senate Republicans are like, we're not giving a $1.8 billion slush fund to the administration to pay out a bunch of criminals who feel like the government wronged them. As President Trump sinks, as his approval ratings get to the 30s, and we draw closer to the election, you're going to see more and more of this. We've been writing this now for a couple of weeks in various forms. They're just a bit exhausted. They're a bit exhausted by everything. And every action has an equal and opposite reaction, Anna. I know I said this yesterday, but that is the reality of it. You know, it was the ballroom first. The Senate Republicans nixed that. Now it's this. And I'm not saying that this is not a commentary on Trump's political staying power. This is just a commentary on a group of members of Congress in the Senate who want to get reelected and don't think it's wise. And forget re-election. They just don't think it's wise to have a slush fund with no oversight for the administration to give out to convicted and targeted people. You know, I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's probably two things that stick out to me. One is the idea that I do think members of Congress, we talk about this all the time, are always focused on their own re-election, keeping power, maintaining power, growing power, right? And as you see the inference of Trump's popularity going down, a lot of the policies that they've long been not with the historical Republican ideology, you have Republicans taking a second look at saying, this stuff is not only outside the norm, this is just something that is hard to swallow. I also think, listen, the idea that this week he took out Bill Cassidy, Louisiana Republican. He is now, with no heads up, to Senate Majority Leader John Thune, backing Ken Paxton in Texas and not John Cornyn, not the favorite candidate of Republicans. I mean, this is going to potentially, you could have a lot of free agents in the Senate that are no longer worried about re-election or their loyalty to the president, and that becomes a big, big issue.
I'll say something else. This doesn't come in a vacuum, right? The White House, here's what a source told me last night. I'm just looking at my notes, that Republicans are emboldened by by Trump's audacity, by the White House's audacity. I mean, yesterday, Anna, the White House, and I'm not passing judgment on the policy, but the White House was pushing this rail safety bill that the Republicans on the Transportation Committee had no interest in.
Right. The chairman voted against.
Yeah, the chairman was against it. And by the way, they've been against this for years. And I'll just say something else. When we get back from recess, which is, just a couple days from now, just a week from now, a little bit more, 10 days from now, we're going to have this reconciliation package. And then we're going to have FISA. And you can't count on Democrats to help on FISA. It's going to be June. It's 5 months before an election. Everyone's in their corners, and Yeah, it's tough. It's tough right now.
All right, Jake, let's move on to the number 2 story of the morning. House GOP leaders saved President Donald Trump from another congressional rebuke this week over the Iran conflict, but the risk of a high-profile defeat remains acute when the issue comes up again in June. In a stunning move on Thursday, top Republicans yanked Representative Gregory Meek's War Powers resolution from consideration during the middle of a vote series, facing some 10 GOP absences, 10, count them, in a 2-seat majority. GOP leaders then postponed the push until after the Memorial Day recess, a move that drew immediate Democratic ire.
Yeah, so this is not a matter of if, but it's a matter of when. That's the easiest way to put it, Anna. A War Powers resolution vote is going to fail on the House floor. It's a certainty. So they punted this. Steve Scalise said there are people who want to be recorded on it, and they weren't able to make it. Fine. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. It'll happen. You now have a bunch of people, a bunch of switches in these votes. You have Bryce Fitzpatrick is a no. Tom Barrett is a no. Tom Massey is a no. There will be other no's coming up soon. And remember, these are privileged. These have to come to the floor. They could delay them, I think, a couple legislative days, but that's about it. And so that is the backdrop here. We'll get back. We'll have more of these. Trump is getting frustrated with Iran again. Who knows which way this thing goes, but it'll happen before too long.
And I mean, it happened in the Senate, right? So, I mean,
Yeah.
you're seeing now this is the second chamber, both sides of Congress in a very different position on Iran than where the president is. Let's move on to the number 3 story of the morning. Flyout day, we had Budget Chairman Jodey Arrington, the Republican from Texas, on the show yesterday. Really worth listening to if you want to understand how House Republicans are not only thinking about Reconciliation 2.0, but really Reconciliation 3.0, the underpinning of that. He basically made the base case that this is going to be largely in place of a defense supplemental.
Yeah. In another way to say it, the defense supplemental will be the anchor of a Reconciliation 3.0 effort. And listen, maybe that makes it more urgent, but I will tell you what, after this experience of adding other stuff into the reconciliation bill, maybe Republicans will think twice before they add a bunch of stuff into a defense reconciliation bill. That is something to think about. Am I skeptical of another reconciliation bill? I am, sure. Does that mean it won't happen? No, it just means that I'm skeptical, and I just don't know that people will have the appetite. And I think Arrington's going to want to go big. He's going to want to do fraud, quote unquote fraud. Not do his own fraud. He's going to want to cut fraud from the budget here. Anyway, a great episode. I suggest everyone watch on YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube page, all those things. It's on Spotify as well. I just saw it on my Spotify feed last night. I didn't listen because we were on the show. It's our show. What the hell do I need to listen for?
I can't believe it. Maybe when you work out this morning, you can just listen to the dulcet tones of Flyout Day. Who needs fish?
Fish has a new live bait out. It's a compilation of previous summer performances in advance of Fish's summer tour, which starts in a couple weeks here. So
waiting. I can't wait.
They'll be
very
in DC.
Excited. Very excited for this. Yep. All right. Thank you all so much for listening. We appreciate it. Have a safe and hopefully a restful Memorial Day weekend. We are looking forward to it. And we'll be back next week.